Kevin Harlan here. Tomorrow, the NBA on Prime Crew is back as the Emirates NBA knockout rounds continue. The action heads to Las Vegas tomorrow for a thrilling semifinals doubleheader. 4 teams remain, but only 2 will move on. The last 2 teams standing will then go toe-to-toe Tuesday night, December 16th, in the championship game for a shot at the cup, bragging rights, and a place in NBA history. And Prime is your exclusive home for all the action. So don't miss the final chase for the Emirates NBA Cup, coming to you live from Las Vegas, starting with the semifinals doubleheader tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And Prime's also got your front row seat for the championship game Tuesday, December 16th at 8:30 Eastern. If you're not a Prime member, that's not a problem. Sign up for a free 30-day trial to get started today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. And don't miss the thrilling conclusion of the Emirates NBA Cup tomorrow, only on Prime.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Extra, extra, hear all about it. Extra, extra, hear all about it. A Friday night special for Brave the Wild on the Hockey Podcast Network, or THPN. We want to thank, of course, Dylan and Kyle for having us on board that wonderful network and website coming in out of Vancouver, British Columbia, of all places. The source of, the source of this special episode, and where a star player will be coming to the Minnesota Wild. Defenseman Quinn Hughes is coming to the Minnesota Wild in exchange for Marco Rossi, Zeev Buium, Liam Ogren, and the 2026 first-round pick. Seriously, what just happened here? The Wild just got Quinn Hughes, and Marco Rossi, remember him? Yeah, well, there were always rumors of a possibility of him getting traded. I guess he did. Zeev Buium, I thought he was like the future of the franchise practically. Well, I guess not. I guess it's going to be Quinn Hughes on the defensive side, and Liam Ogren, we all kind of had a feeling. And another first-round pick traded. Doggone it. So I wonder when the Wild are going to pick in the first round again, but they did get Quinn Hughes. All right, so we're going to have multiple sources here with The Athletic, and, of course, Hockey Database. Love that place so much. It is Hockey Database, right? Yes, Hockey Database. Wanted to make 100% sure what the hell I'm talking about. Quinn Hughes was drafted 7th overall in the 2018 NHL Draft by the Vancouver Canucks. Born in 1999 in Orlando, Florida. Yeah, well, he's one of the Hughes brothers. There's all these possibilities. He might wind up with the New Jersey Devils, the Detroit Red Wings. Instead, he comes to the Minnesota Wild. Quinn Hughes coming to the Minnesota Wild, 26 years of age, freshly turned 26 on October 14th, 1999. Shaq had already left the Orlando Magic anyway, but we'll get off of that. Vancouver Canucks, gosh, he's already been there 9 years. Isn't that freaking weird? Or this would be his 9th season? 8th season, 9th season, 8th season, 8th season. I'm going crazy. I can't believe it. It's wild stuff. This guy is far beyond what Mr. Suter was from the get-go. Ryan Suter, he's the best best defenseman in franchise history because he's already won a Norris Trophy, 23-24 Norris Trophy winner, 92 points, 10 assists in 13 playoff games. In 1920, the Vancouver Canucks played 17 playoff games. That's crazy. 16 points there. It's an unbelievable player. So extremely exciting. Talk is, yes, that Bill Guerin's in it to win it, and he delivered on the star player. He was kind of semi-promising us all this time. And that was kind of the conversation when it's like, okay, I guess this whole Christmas thing is, this whole Christmas in July thing is probably not going to happen because free agency is kind of what it is. You can only do so much, but there's always this possibility that there'll be some huge blockbuster trade. Well, instead of Christmas in July, it's Christmas in Christmas. But like every Christmas present, every really exciting Christmas present, it costs something. Like when I got a Super Nintendo and, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for Christmas, it cost my parents a few dollars back in 1992. Cost them a few bucks. It's kind of expensive, It's not free. Secret of Evermore and Chrono Trigger in the same bleeping, I can't even believe it. I was like, wow, that's a treasure trove right there. In the same Christmas, it costs money. So like Quinn Hughes, it's like getting Final Fantasy VI maybe of defensemen right now. Freaking awesome. So if you don't know what Final Fantasy VI is, I guess you don't like video games very much because some of us would tell you it's the greatest game ever made. Pretty much is, actually. I don't know if I'm going to do a game review on it. I've left Video Game Flashback in hiatus for a while. I don't know. And now I just don't know. I want to keep doing shows like Brave the Wild for the moment and Mysterious Adventures, the new one. Quinn Hughes, though, in 26 games this year already has 23 points, so he's on pace for like 80-ish, 70-something, spectacular. He's a minus 10 this year because Vancouver's been terrible. We just played them, didn't we? Quinn Hughes was a plus 38 in 23-24 when he won the Norris Trophy. So we have a Norris Trophy winner, and he's still 26 years of age. Wow, it's crazy. Again, it costs something, though. And Marco Rossi is a player that I valued. I'm very sad to see him go, actually. Zeev Buium, I thought the franchise valued him like crazy. But again, he's not going to be on the Wild anymore. So Quinn Hughes, we'll see. We'll see how he, Quinn Hughes, Zeev Buium, we'll see how he emerges with the Vancouver Canucks. It's like, yes, and it cost them a fortune to get these guys by giving up their, their best player, basically, unless you think Elias Patterson is. Patterson. I think it's. I think it probably was Quinn Hughes, right? But you're getting good players back if you're Vancouver. You're getting younger. Marco Rossi could be something. Absolutely, he's been something already. Zeev Buium might end up being a pretty damn good defenseman. Maybe he won't be, because he's definitely got flaws. Defensively, Zeev Buium's got flaws, and Liam Ogren is kind of like a wild card type of an acquisition. In a lot of ways, that's kind of sort of what Kevin Fiala was, because he was coming off a terrible femur injury. That's a pretty big bone, and if it doesn't heal the right way or whatever, the player doesn't respond properly or is skittish the rest of his career, it's probably not going to be as good as we thought. But it ended up being a wonderful trade for the Minnesota Wild, acquiring Kevin Fiala at the time we did. It was kind of like a lottery ticket that had a possibility of really striking into something, and it did. And that's kind of what Liam Ogren is, maybe a cheaper lottery ticket this time around, you could say, for the Vancouver Canucks, but they're already getting Rossi, who is a proven player, I think, to a point of, he's at least he's a valuable top six guy. And it's a valuable commodity to have a center who's top six level. So it's kind of sad to see him go. It kind of is. And of course, Zeev Buium was looked on as the top prospect in the entire organization. So who is now the Minnesota Wild's top prospect? I guess it's the current goaltender or one of the two, I guess. I mean, it's not Adam Bennick. Obviously, it's not Buium. He's now a Vancouver Canuck, which is weird. I didn't think the Wild were going to trade Zeev Buium. And if we were, maybe it'd be something else. But I'm not sure the Wild have a top prospect unless, again, it is Jesper Wallstedt. That's kind of scary. Do we have a top prospect? Damon Hunt? No, he's not even a prospect anymore. I don't think the Wild have a top prospect. Now, come to think of it, I mean, I don't know. I mean, but, the franchise or potential franchise, the other franchise defenseman to go with Brock Faber was Zeev Buium. Now it's Quinn frickin' Hughes, who's for sure a star player. So, and he shoots from the left side, where Faber shoots from the right side. So that's kind of cool, kind of exciting. But again, like guys like Kumpalainen and such, I don't know. It might open the door for this trade for trading away Marco Rossi. Could possibly open the door for a Charlie Stramel to make the Minnesota Wild. But most of us see Charlie Stramel, sorry. It sounds French. It must be, right? As a bottom six, doesn't he? Like maybe a third line center. I don't know if he's a top or second line guy. But again, you do have Yurov. I think Yurov's progress probably made this franchise confident that we can trade Marco Rossi, and the fact that Joel Eriksson Ek is still here, and I like him. They like him. He's a two-way player who has leadership skills. He really does. He should probably have an alternate on his chest. Quinn Hughes is the captain of the Vancouver Canucks. So what's his role going to be for the Wild? That's interesting, isn't it? So who are the current alternates? Kaprizov, of course, Foligno, and Spurgeon. So who's given up one of the letters? It's going to have to be one of them, because I don't know. I mean, Quinn Hughes should at least be an alternate, if not the captain. But that's going to be a very interesting thought right there, because that's your captain. Not only is their best player, the captain and everything. So you look at Russo, Joe Smith, and Harman Dale. I believe that's on the Vancouver side. Kind of jumping in on this big article on The Athletic. And arguably the biggest trade in Minnesota Wild history and one of the biggest in NHL history. Wow. Bill Guerin sent the equivalent of 4 first-round picks. Yeah, because all these guys were taken in the first round, by the way, including, again, Liam Ogren. Bill Guerin sent the equivalent of 4 first-round picks of the Vancouver Canucks on a Friday night blockbuster for Norris Trophy winner Quinn Hughes. Yeah, this is very similar to the Timberwolves trade, and it was also on a Friday night years ago. You're coming home from work, it's the weekend, unless you have to work tomorrow, which I guess I do. Yay. But at least it'll be pretty mild, I think, and lucrative, because time and a half is nice. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't like working on the weekends, though. There's more to life than money, like, chilling a little bit. Not partying, chilling. There's a big difference. I don't party. Anyhow, heading to Vancouver are forwards Marco Rossi, 2020 first-round pick, Liam Ogren, 2022 first-round pick, defenseman Zeev Buium, 2024 first-round pick, and an unprotected 2026 first-round pick. And I don't think the Wild will be picking in the lottery this year, especially with that. So we'll see what happens at the end of the day. It's exciting. It's intriguing. It does make the Wild better immediately. There's no doubt. There's always this fear, like, oh boy, what if Zeev Buium becomes a Hall of Fame player? The good news is Quinn Hughes probably will be a Hall of Fame player. The other frightening thing, though, is Quinn Hughes is not signed for very long. And, hopefully there was some kind of back channel conversation behind the scenes before they made this trade. Because could you imagine giving up Rossi? Zeev Buium was easily the top prospect in the organization. Again, the only other one could be Jesper Wallstedt. And how much longer can you consider Jesper Wallstedt a prospect? As great as he's been, by the way. How much longer can you consider him a prospect? Just imagine losing all those guys and, or trading away all those guys, and Quinn Hughes says, bleep you, I'm going to New Jersey or something. It'd be like, no, this can't be happening. So that's where GMs get fired for sure. Like the David Juracek trade, which again was a very aggressive trade last year, it just done the Wild a whole lot of diddly bleepity bleepily bleep. So this one is, this one's more of a legit trade. Again, I still can't believe the Wild gave up a first-round pick in that deal. I mean, what the flip?
This is Michael Rosenbaum. Hey, folks, let me tell you that drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
I would have rather the Wild gave up David Jiricek in that trade, but maybe, we can't do that. Oh, look at what we gave up for him. No, seriously, just go. Wouldn't it be nice if we could have given up Jiricek instead of Buium, but a trade probably couldn't happen that way. They'd be like, what do you think, we're stupid or something? That's probably about what Vancouver would have said if we tried to do that. What do you think, we're stupid? Ha! Ha! No, that's about what they would say. Buium has not been spectacular so far, though. Again, you've seen flashes. You saw it again, like I was saying in earlier episodes. I saw no flashes last year. I didn't. Seriously, I just didn't. It was too early. It was like a kid among men. This year, it's like a young man among men. That type of thing, like a little closer. We'll see what happens with Zeev Buium. It is a little scary, a little bit scary. Trading him away because you just never know. Again, in the fact that it is what it is. What if you lose? What if you lose this guy in free agency? That'd be a depressing thing. But again, you hope and pray to God in heaven that this trade, you hope to God in heaven that this trade ends up leading this franchise to something that we haven't done in a long time. At least advancing in the playoffs. Hopefully advancing very, very far. Maybe even winning the whole entire enchilada. You have 4 legitimate players on this roster, not including Jesper Wallstedt, who might end up being, the kind of goaltender that can win you a Stanley Cup, possibly. He just might. Like I was talking about on a couple episodes ago, that goaltending like that can win you a Stanley Cup. And it can. But you have 2 legitimate, super high-end defensemen. There were times you looked at Suter and Spurgeon as high end, or Suter and Brodin as high end, but Suter and Brodin played on the same side, so you couldn't really pair them together. They're both left shot, so that'd be kind of a weird situation where Spurgeon and Suter, that's right left. Buium and Faber are right left, but Buium's development is not where Faber's is, that type of thing. But then you bring a potential guy who's already possibly in Hall of Fame conversation, or at least he would be not too long from now, and Quinn Hughes, who shoots left, Faber shoots right. I mean, you have, again, 2 legitimate defensemen that can do both sides of the puck, basically. Both sides of the blue line, whatever you want to say, that can move the puck, skate really well, defend really well. And, you have something that can take you to a Stanley Cup here. But like Faber obviously being probably the more defensive-minded defenseman of the 2. But at the same time, I mean, obviously there's talent there offensively from Faber. Like maybe not like supreme offensive talent like Buium, but still up there where Hughes does have supreme offensive talent. It's probably more of a complete player. In fact, I would say he is than Buium. You have those 2 guys together. You have Kaprizov and Boldy. Neither of those guys got traded. You still have Julien Senek. And then the development of Danil Yurov, who was not included in the trade, so that's great. So that's good. Ogren maybe finally gets a chance to do something rather than rotting on our 4th line, which is just, it was painful. Doggone it, play this son of a gun, But maybe he just doesn't become a whole lot of anything super special. But the Wild have given up players that would have been valuable on our bottom 6 that are a lot better than the Ben Joneses. I mean, that conversation's been out there for a while, like the Ben Joneses, the Tyler Pitlicks. I mean, God bless them. They should be in the AHL and up here only because of injuries, not because of. I guess that's our 4th line, rock and roll. Connor Dewar is a better player than Ben Jones. Brandon Duhaime is a better player than Tyler Pitlick. Liam Ogren, I think, is a better player than, those guys as well. I think he's a better player, but unfortunately, again, the last year or so, statistically, you're not seeing any evidence of it, which is frustrating. But clearly there's a skill there, a skill set there. But I don't know, it's really kind of heartbreaking when you look at his numbers the last year and a half in Liam Ogren's case. Both Danilo Yurov and Liam Ogren have 7 career points in the National Hockey League. So that's interesting in itself. Where Yurov is more of a complete player and he plays a more important position as well. 21 games, 7 points, 3 goals, 4 assists. Liam Ogren, 43 games, 7 points, 3 goals, 4 assists. Interestingly enough, Daniil Yurov doesn't have a single penalty minute, which is hard to believe. And Liam Ogren has 2 penalty minutes. Buium's got 8. Gosh, what a goon. Buium's a goon. Just kidding. But we'll see what happens with Marco Rossi. I'm sad, very sad to see him go. Absolutely sad to see him go. But I guess, again, you have 2 legitimate, top 6 centers, first and second line type centers. So it kind of is what it is, God dang it. Why do I keep pressing the wrong button here? Yeah, so right now, again, why is Tarasenko on the top line? Are they on crack? What are we doing? Oh, please tell me this is a joke, right? Yeah, there's Quinn Hughes with Brock Faber, Hunt and Spurgeon, Kierstead and Matt Kierstead. What? I can't. What are you talking about? Well, the Minnesota Wild did make. Oh yeah, the whole trade with the whole trade with Vancouver. Oh, we're gonna get that the other guy. No, we didn't. So the guy everybody was talking about, that bottom, the third line player or fourth line player that everyone's like, oh yeah, the Wild are gonna get him, and they even wanted like a potential first round pick. I'd be like, go away. Seriously, just go away. Seriously, just go away. Don't even think about it. That's foolishness. I mean, what's it, Sherbrooke, right? I mean, that's foolishness to even consider trading away a first-round pick for like a bottom 6 player who's like, not that young, is he? So, I don't know. I mean, when you're looking at like an all-star player, that's quite different. And yes, this story is all over the National Hockey League right now. Hughes is actually leading the Canucks in scoring. Was leading the Canucks in scoring. Kiefer Sherwood is having a really nice season, but it's kind of like, it's one of those years where, and he did have 40 points last year. That was a career high, and he's on pace for about the same this year. And I don't know. Don't get your hopes up with that guy. He's been in the league a significant amount of time. Was he even drafted? I don't even think he was drafted. The heck is going on here? And he's born in 95. Again, it's going to be 31 in March. His happy golden birthday, Kiefer Sherwood. Yeah, if it's like a 4th round pick, okay, maybe, yeah. I mean, okay, but they're not going to do that either. They'll be like, that's too cheap. Just forget it, okay? I don't know. Maybe, you know what? I would consider trading for Kiefer Sherwood if it involved Marcus Foligno. Put it that way. Maybe go that direction. That's what I would consider. Yeah. Call me weird or crazy or stupid. I would consider trading for Sherwood if it involved Foligno, meaning like, okay, open up that spot, and then, yeah, you get a player who's younger, healthier, more productive at this stage of his career. So, yep, delivers a ton of hits, just like Marcus Foligno and such. But, I mean, Foligno can't even stay healthy anymore, so it's like, whatever. So, there's so many good reasons for the show to come out. Obviously, an exciting trade that stuns us all right now, because we weren't expecting Quinn Hughes to skate for the Wild. But also, again, I didn't even mention Sherwood on the last episode, which was like, because I was just kind of like, I need to get the show done, but I didn't even I didn't do, let's just say, I didn't do the greatest job preparing for the show. And it's like, why didn't I? Like, just, what are you doing? I didn't put out a poll. I didn't put out a bat signal or anything. And then Derek, which is cool, did a miniature lightning round after the show, which is cool. And then, I can read those on this show. And then we could do a poll or something and have like a Derek lightning round or whatever if he does that. And then on or like a bat signal, but it might be just a poll, which might generate enough fan interaction anyway for the next episode. So I can get to Derek's comments, and I can also talk about, the other guy. Remember how there was Ryan Suter? Remember the July 4th firework thing? Yeah, yes. There was a Christmas in July, that didn't happen. And then Christmas season this year with Quinn Hughes, the Christmas Quinn Hughes trade, Christmas season Quinn Hughes trade. As I stumble all over myself. And the other guy with the Ryan Suter acquisition on July 4th, 2012, Zach Parise will enter the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Yep, and I do believe Quinn Hughes will probably be there as well. So sorry to, I don't mean to rain on anyone's parade, but I'm guessing he'll be there as well. Luckily, he is an American, so that's pretty cool. When it comes to that part of things, anyway. So yep, you could see him skating in the Olympics, I'm sure, trying to beat Canada for that gold medal. But yeah, Zach Parise, congratulations. Yes, again, I don't like the way things, were the last few years. With Parise Suter, you learn more about them, and it just wasn't as rosy as all of us thought. It just wasn't, especially Suter. Obviously, Mr. Russo would drop like hints about things. Obviously, after the guys were bought out and moved on, like a star player on the team who was an absolute jackass, and I was like, whoa. So, who could he be talking about? It's like it had to be Ryan Suter. So. Oh, he was like selfish and kind of like pushing people away, basically. Anytime they tried to say anything, it's like, this is our team. And it's like, eventually it's like, no, it's not. Go home. Just, go find a new team, okay, buddy? You're bought out. It's like, what? And then he hung up on Bill Guerin. But anyhow, so, yes, we got the Parise thing out of there. This will be a one-segment shot, kind of like the way Derek does it on Crease Assist podcast. So, oh, yeah. Speaking of things, I better jump in here. Again, this was on the fly, kind of not really expected to happen, but again, it's nice to be able to catch up with things. Same script as last week. So yes, we're going to jump right in to DK, to DraftKings right here, right now. If I could pull it up, that'd be great. So I can do this correctly and do this show the way I'm supposed to here. Right here and right now. The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey, hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. Well, now it's time for Quinn Hughes to show us, right? New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.com/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved. So with that, I think we're going to jump right into fan interaction right here and right now. At least I think so. According to Michael Rousseau, as of 3 hours ago, Quinn Hughes will debut Sunday against the Boston Bruins, not tomorrow against Ottawa. So that's okay. Yep. Boston Bruins, what's that, a 5 o'clock game or something? So, yeah, Quinn Hughes skating for the Minnesota Wild. Isn't that crazy? Which everything gets you Quinn Hughes on the Wild. Well, we will. So let's get to the Derek Krelska lightning round right here and now. It hath returned. Isn't that cool? Yep, don't you love hearing from, don't you love these Derek Krelska lightning rounds? So, yep, and here's a poll here. Again, I will not let the cat out of the bag. That's why I won't read the comments to, steal the thunder here. But initial thoughts on the Minnesota Wild trade for Quinn Hughes. Reply and tag. Hashtag Crease Podcast if other, hashtag Brave the Wild. And, of course, I'm going to retweet it. Yes, I mean, I'd be an idiot not to. So, sorry if I've been lazy about that. A bold move to contend, like it, but must extend. Yeah, there's, oh my. One player too many, in my opinion. We will regret this trade. Like it but must extend. That'll be my click. Boink, and that is in the lead right now, and I'll leave that right where that is. Tons and tons of votes already. So, yeah, Derek, you got something cool going there, and I should make a similar poll to get some conversation. For immediate conversation on that, they're both from Derek, so I'll just do I'll just leave it in the lightning round right away. So I'll keep it organized to be better. I just wanted to click on it to be out of curiosity. So yeah, there's a lightning round, and here it is. Is Yakov Trenin earning his keep with his strong physical play and hustle, or do you feel more offense is needed to justify the cap hit? I think there should probably be a little more offense. Yeah, I mean he's better this year, yes, but I don't know. I think it'd be a little bit nice to have something. Mosey responds with, "That dude totally has redeemed himself. I have no issues with his play this year." Okay. Nick Hangzi says, doing exactly what the team needs, don't change a thing. Okay, that's interesting. So both of you guys think he's doing fine. I'd like a little more offense, I think, because what does he have? Like, just a couple points, like 4 points or something. So continuing. And I apologize, Derek, if you were hoping this would go into next week's show, but obviously this is a crazy spur of the moment thing. And yes, and at the same time, see, then these are fresh comments, and then we could have like a new one next week, but and such. So if you'd be willing, because these are some fun questions too. I was like, man, I wanted to get to these right away anyway, so now I get to. These are all Derek, of course. That's why I call it the lightning round. But the previous, I mentioned their names. Minnesota has been doing significantly better, knock on wood, against better teams in the NHL compared to previous seasons, where we normally have struggled, like against the high end, like Colorado and stuff. That's why I think the Wild are going to beat Washington, by the way. Besides the results, what has changed to make this possible, in your opinion? I'm debating in my head about something, too, just now. Yeah, the Wild just beat the Dallas Stars. I am going to leave that for next week's show. The review will be for next week's show. This is all about Quinn Hughes, but I'll keep this going. Okay, sorry. Besides the results, what has changed to make this possible, in your opinion? I think it's some of the young star players becoming, like, they're just like, they're growing. I think that's partially what it is. Like, the star players like Kaprizov are better than ever. Boldy's better than ever. Faber, like like Wallstedt. Both Wallstedt and Gustafsson have been really good. Obviously, guys staying healthy for the most part. I mean, there's still been an injury bug with this team. But I think it's kind of a combination of that. Like Boldy becoming closer to being a star player compared to just kind of a nice young prospect. That type of thing. I think that's a huge part of it, to be quite honest. Continuing. With the World Junior Championships right around the corner, up here in St. Paul, what teams do you think will win the gold, silver, and bronze respectively? How well do you think Adam Bennick will do for Team Czechia? Oh, boy. I'll admit I'm not like super smart on this topic, but I do think the juniors are I think the gold is going to go to the U.S., and I'm really hoping it does. Canada's going to get the silver. Bronze is... should I step out in faith and say Czechia? Or is that just a lazy, low-hanging fruit type of opinion? But I'd like to say that. Adam Bennick, I think he'll do very well, especially with that kind of that Olympic style. I can imagine Bennick succeeding very nicely in that. In this type of competition, I think he will do well. I think Bennick will do very well for Czechia. Might even take them somewhere. That's why I have a feeling maybe they'll get to the bronze or something, or at least maybe they'll finish fourth or something. But I think it's U.S., Canada for sure. Well, maybe not for sure, but frick. Again, I'm not really as educated as some of you out there with like prospects like in other nations and such. Man. Yep. It probably won't be Czechia. Somebody like Sweden. I'll say Sweden. But I think U.S. and Canada will compete for the whole thing. But U.S. wins. I hope they do. Derek, continuing in Milan, the 2026 Olympic organizers who are still finishing. Isn't that weird? The arena, albeit with a slightly smaller ice surface. Isn't that weird? How could they screw that up? Which Minnesota Wild player would you think would be the best in these winter sports? skeleton, snowboarding, and curling. Ooh. And yes, that is weird. How could they screw that up? Yeah, because haven't they had enough time to kind of figure stuff out? It's not like, oh yeah, in 6 months, you're going to take on the Winter Olympics. Yeah, so good luck. It's not like, please, Atari programmers, please make AT in like a couple days, basically. Make ET in like a few weeks, basically, is what they did to the programmers for like, or they were going to make the Atari ET. And that's kind of partially why that game is kind of weird, even though it's a historic thing and it's kind of fun. It's fun. It's just that it's got a lot of flaws and it can drive you nuts. Is it the worst game ever? No. But no, it's not. There's worse games. Like I'd even say Pac-Man is worse than Atari. Yes, Pac-Man for Atari anyway. So, which Minnesota Wild player would you think would be the best in winter sports? Skeleton, snowboarding, and curling. Skeleton, why am I not familiar with that one? Snowboarding for sure, and curling. Oh boy. Curling, Kaprizov. Snowboarding. Oh boy, snowboarding. Who looks more like a snowboarder to you, Faber or Boldy or something, or some other like a completely different player? I think it's Faber for snowboarding. Yeah, I can imagine Faber being a good border, pardon me. But then there's guys like Skeleton. I can imagine that being somebody like a Jake Middleton type of thing. I can imagine that being like Jake Middleton. Did I say Jake? Yeah, it is Jake Middleton. I'm getting it mixed up with an old classmate years ago, Jonathan Middleton. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so weird. Yes, Jake Middleton, though, at the end of the day, that sounds like something he might be into. I could learn a little bit more about it, though, to be quite fair. Again, I hope you're okay that I'm doing these questions on this episode, and then that's kind of, then they're fresh now, and then you can maybe have a new set of things next week. I hope you're okay with that, Derek. It's like, why not? And this is a fun, spur of the moment type of thing right here. So it's probably a more fun, enjoyable mood right now than like a Thursday show anyway. At the end of the day, here we go, fun one here, and I love this stuff. This is the kind of stuff I like when you bring these up. Besides hockey games like Blades of Steel or ice hockey, what is the best winter sports game on the NES? Well, that is tougher than I thought. I remember playing a game called Slalom. That was really fun, but I think it was on the NES. But I remember liking it. I remember liking it a lot, actually. It's what it is, like skiing. But for some reason, I liked it. It's like, but way back in the day. I think it was on NES. Yeah, it was. Yep. Yeah, it was really old, an old black box NES game, but I really liked it. From what I remember, it was kind of fun. Yep, it's kind of skiing downhill, and it's actually pretty good graphics, but background for back in the day. Also, I remember renting it like way back in the day, and actually really enjoying it. But then it was like never again, though, which is really sad. I think my brother was just making fun of me, like, why do you like these, like really old, Nintendo games? And it's like, because I do. And at the time, they weren't that old, but it was an old Nintendo game. But obviously, it was only probably like maybe 5 or 6 years old at the time. Back then, a 5 or 6 year old game, oh my God, it's so old. Now it's like, no, it's more like 40 now. 40. Can you believe that? It's 40 years old. I can't. No. So I will say Slalom.
This is Michael Rosenbaum. Hey, folks, let me tell you that drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
That's just the one that keeps coming to mind. And I remember some fun ones on the Commodore 64 way back in the day before we even had an NES. Quinn Hughes stuff. Okay, yep, we did the. I read the thing, and Like It But Extend is in the lead, and that's what I picked. It's got a strong lead right now, and I won't let the cat out of the bag. I'll let them do their poll, fresh and exciting for all of you listeners out there that want to listen to that show, just like I will be doing so as well. Derek jumps in on, yep, these are the two comments from Derek here on the Quinn Hughes trade. So this is all fresh right here. And we can continue that conversation on the next episode because it will be Quinn Hughes related, you can imagine. It would be one thing if it sounded like he was likely to re-sign with the Minnesota Wild, but that is certainly up in the air. Yeah, I'm afraid of that too. It certainly was a bold move. I don't think the first round pick, albeit not protected, or Ogren was that big of a loss as it was like Zeev and Marco. Yeah. Yep. Those are big losses. Zeev and Marco are pretty big. Next, or final thing, I guess it looks like there's a response as well. As I said earlier, if he doesn't extend, the Minnesota Wild better win a Stanley Cup, like right now, yep. During at least one of these 2 years. Otherwise, I don't see how it can be viewed as anything other than a disaster. Yeah, if they fail to re-sign Quinn Hughes, I think Bill Guerin loses his job. Yeah, play if the Wild, they fail to re-sign him, and the Wild are like the Dallas Mavericks or something in a couple of years, like with the whole Luka trade. Not that I think Luka's this god of basketball, because I really don't. I think he's one of the more, as talented as he is, he's overrated. Come on. People overrate that guy. Come on, seriously. He's not this basketball god. Yes, he's talented, but like Dallas fans are acting like they just, like literally burned the arena down and sold the franchise for, like a bag of dirt or something. That's not what they did. Anyhow, it wasn't a good trade or anything, but yeah. Captain Breed, here's my my take. 1, quality over quantity. Quality over quantity every time. 2, small impact to salary cap. Okay. Still have room for another acquisition with scoring. 3, liked players we gave up, but Rossi size is still an issue. Ogren hasn't shown much to date. Yeah, it's been really bad. Really bad, honestly. Doggone it. Yeah, Ogren hasn't shown much to date. Sorry, everything got knocked out of place. Still has a possibility. Buium has rough edges, but big upside. Yes, rough edges. Like defensively, he's not so good and turns the puck over. But big upside. Yes, still could end up being an absolute star in this league. Still could be, and we'll see. He might be a Quinn Hughes or something, but he's certainly not there yet. Looking at Quinn Hughes' early career, which I had up earlier and I lost it because I'm so organized. Yep, first 5 games of his career, 3 assists. His first full season in the National Hockey League in 1920, which is when the Wild got beaten that play-in thing, and on my birthday. It was right after my birthday because hockey was, everything was weird that year. I remember thinking, I can't believe it. I'm watching the Wild and Avalanche, I think it was. Was it the Avalanche or the Stars? It was Wild and Avalanche, I believe. On my birthday, July 29th, 2020. I remember thinking, I've never thought in my life I'd see the Minnesota Wild playing a game on my birthday, a regular season hockey game. Of course, it was a play-in type of thing, but still, it was like a postseason hockey game, basically, like a pre-postseason hockey game. That was crazy, wasn't it? But anyhow, 68 games, 8 goals, 45 assists, 53 points. He also had 16 points in the postseason that year. As Vancouver went on a bit of a run, my friends. Yes, they did, including that play-in little tournament thing with the Wild, that we lost, unfortunately. Yes, they beat the Wild. Quinn Hughes and Pettersson, and everybody thought Montreal or Vancouver was on the verge of something special there, and then it just never happened. Never happened yet. Hughes, Pettersson, Demko, guys like that. Thought you had something going, and just, I don't know, they had some good years, and then it just got weird, and it just didn't work out at the end of the day. It's a shame to say the least. So they got to the second round that other year. Must have gotten to the conference final, though, to get to 17, but I think it was the play-in, and then they advanced a couple times, or they advanced to the second round and then lost. Ultimately, Tampa would win a Stanley Cup that year. So against the Montreal Canadiens, Dallas Stars, right? Was that the year the Stars went to the finals or the Canadiens? I think it was the Stars. Because the next time around, it was like a weird setup going into the playoffs. I guess both of them were weird, but it was like an all-Canadian conference or something. It was weird. And then Montreal won it and went to the final. Nobody on earth saw the Canadiens in the Stanley Cup Finals. But anyhow, they got smoked by by Tampa anyway. But Quinn Hughes, I think, clearly a better player at this age. When you combine Zeev Buium and Quinn Hughes at the same age, Quinn Hughes is better. So that's encouraging for the Minnesota Wild in this trade. That as good as Buium might be, Hughes already was better at that age. So we'll see. He was like ahead of where Zeev Buium was. So that's kind of cool. Yep. Yeah, Zeev Buium was basically 20 years old, or is Buium a little bit younger, I guess? Yeah, I guess he was. Is a little younger. But still, I would have to say that, again, Quinn Hughes, awesome start to his career. I mean, Buium played 2 college seasons, came, after the end of that college season, played a couple games, and then this is that next year. So I think it still counts the same, generally speaking, because that was 18-19. It was after his sophomore year at Michigan. In Mr. Hughes' case and in Mr. Buium's case, sophomore year with Denver. So it's the same thing, regardless if maybe it's a few months difference in age and stuff. So, yeah. Interesting trade, intriguing trade, and we'll see how this all pans out at the end of the day. With that, I think I got to wrap this up. It's late. It's Friday night. It's late. Got to basically rest now, not do anything crazy because I have nothing crazy to do. It's just not my style anyway. Whether I was 20 years old or 46 now, I really never was interested in doing anything too crazy anyway. Unless your team won the whole enchilada, and when was that? I was 12 when that last happened with the Twins. But anyhow, thank you so much for listening. Tell your friends about this show. Spread it around. And please write a positive 5-star rating if you could on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or both, because some people use both anyway. With that said, thank you so much, and we will be back soon. Check out that Crease Assist podcast as well, for sure.
Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.